Hi everyone, it's Master Ben, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Golden Gun Talk. Yes, this series now has a name after you so called for it. In reality, I don't think anyone called for it, but you got a cool name. Let's just get straight into it. We are creating a tier list of all the guns in Star Citizen. I'm joined today by Drac from the Frontier Consolidated server.
How's it going?
And this is exactly as I said in episode 1 where we talked about pistols. This is a list aimed at PvP players, but all the information translates really well into PvE players. We're basically going through all the guns, talking about which are the best ones, which are the worst ones, what should you avoid. And yeah, that's all you need to know. As ever, there are a few caveats to some of the guns in this list, especially in shotguns, so it's definitely worth sticking around listening to this one. If you have any feedback, please let me know. But until then, let's get underway. Okay, so let's talk shotguns. These have always been in a sort of funny position. I think for a long time, the R97 was always really strong, but the rest of shotguns didn't really make much sense. However, once again, 323 has breathed life onto this class of weapon. So why don't we actually pick off with the R97 and go from there?
So this is going to be a hot take from me on the R97. I'm going to go ahead and say it is B tier. And now you've probably lost so many followers from that. The reason being is that it's just not great after about 10 meters. It's usable after 10 meters. It's just not great. It gets beat out by every SMG after 10 meters. It's fun, but it has a couple of quirks of after firing, sometimes your weapon will lower more than where you had it when starting your fire. So it dips down after firing, which is odd. It's great short range, but only short range.
And it's sort of a shame. I guess it kind of makes sense. So for people who don't know, the R97 is a fully automatic shotgun. I believe it's the only fully automatic shotgun in the game right now.
Correct.
And good lord, is it fun to run round a corner, hold down the magazine, and if someone is pushing you, they are now dust.
Not quite as much in 23, but it's still fairly accurate.
Oh man, they've killed my favorite shotgun. This is sad. So, with that absolute depression on my mind, how about we talk about the Devastator, the gun that, to be honest, I've never gotten on with it at all, actually, but it'll be interesting to hear how it's changed for 323.
So the Devastator really hasn't changed that much in 23. I know some people that can use it and absolutely rock everybody's world with it, but those are very few people. I think I have a total of 5 people I've seen actually use it effectively. There is a caveat though, with talking to some of the developers, especially some of the main weapon developers. There is a feature called action queuing that will solve a lot of the issues with the Devastator because it is a charge shotgun only. This should cause the Devastator to maybe turn up to a B tier, maybe A tier in the future. But right now, unfortunately, it's in the D tier. Right now, don't use it. It's just not worth it, but we might have to revisit this one later.
Devastator D for don't use, done. How sad. Well, not really. I mean, the Devastator, yeah, for me, it's always just sat down there. It's never really been that impressive, never really had that sort of place in the game, but
It also doesn't help that you can hear it from 100 meters away charging up.
I wonder if I should push this corner with a charging up shotgun. Oh, let's find out.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And even with charge, it still takes 2 shots to kill someone.
Yeah, that's just literally not worth the inventory space.
Sometimes 1 shot, but it's very random if that happens.
Oh, that's such a shame. Well, I guess hopefully one day maybe it will come on, and if it does, we'll definitely let you know here. However, until then, it's going to be a don't use. Moving on from that, we have the BR2.
This is partially another hot take, and I guess I should have started all this off with a caveat of don't use shotguns that much, but I've been using them in the last couple of weeks heavily, especially to give y'all reviews. The BR2 is a great shotgun. I would put it as an A tier, mostly because you hit it 2 shots with it at short to medium. We're talking 0 to 25 meters. It's probably going to kill them as long as you're not hitting the legs. If you hit chest or head, they're going down. It has a little bit more range than the others. It's kind of a spread shotgun a little bit, but the spread is very tight. So I have really enjoyed it. So I'm giving it the A tier.
It's actually really impressive. So, what would you say the use case is different compared to something like a R97, given the spread effect of it?
If you're held up in a ship hallway, you can actually get some kills as people are running through that hallway. Whereas with the R97, you're going to have to be just around the corner, and as soon as they push past that corner is the use case for the R97 versus the BR2. So more of a mid-range-ish.
That makes sense. So in this case, the R97 is the last case resort. However, the BR2 actually has a lot more versatility to its use case.
It's just a little bit more power. It is a pump shotgun, so it fires a little slower, but that slowness is not that bad.
It's definitely a good one to check out then. And with that, let's move on to the Ravager.
So the Ravager, this one is in an odd place because I can see its use, but I was struggling to actually make it work in Arena Commander, mostly because the current meta is running around with SMGs, which within 20 meters, then SMG is just going to rock almost any gun's world right now. The Ravager I'm putting in B tier because it's more of a medium range shotgun, whereas the R97 is a short range. This one's more of a medium. It starts actually suffering the closer you are just because it cannot get the shot tracking kind of like a Coda does. It's a little harder to use as you're having a lot of movement, but it will hit. It's a slug firing shotgun, so it can hit out to 30-40 meters at, I believe, full damage. It takes about 4 shots, but you have that option if you just wanted to run a shotgun. So Ravager would be a great pairing case with your snipers in that you can, you see them, they're a little too close in this for your sniper, but you could use them more of a mid-range. You're going to struggle though when they get to close range. So pair that. It's not a bad shotgun. It's not a great shotgun. I'm putting it in B because I actually used it fairly effectively, but I can't give it higher than a B.
That makes sense. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it has a use case, but certainly still some limitations, especially as you think shotguns are more of that close range weapon, and you have a shotgun which starts to get worse the closer you get. Not ideal there.
It is the only true semi-auto shotgun.
So finally, we have the Dead Rig shotgun. Now this one does require a caveat, and that is the fact that you could only purchase this shotgun currently through the CitizenCon Digital Goodies pack. So it will still cover it, however, if you're going to have to spend real money on this gun, and the second you die, you no longer have it until you do a character reset, it's already not really going to be a recommendation, but we'll still grade it as if it was available in-game.
Which is surprisingly interesting, because this is the highest rated shotgun.
Oh, that's funny.
If we had an S tier, this would be it. This is the only case that I have found of a close to a pay-to-win FPS weapon, because it's only available if you purchased it, and it will 1 to 2 shot anybody, even at 40 meters, as long as you don't miss a shot. So close range, if you're point blank, you're getting that kill, it's not even funny. But if you miss even 1 shot of it, I think it has 2 rounds in its mag, you're going to struggle. But it is the best shotgun, unfortunately.
This really annoys me, and I want to begin a rant, but we won't. We're going to go with the benefits of the doubt that maybe it just wasn't balanced properly. Now, the good news is this is Star Citizen, where if you die, you don't get to keep your loot. You can go and find your body, but it's a great chance it's fallen through the planet and is no longer there. So that is a huge benefit. However, let's just hope this gets changed or other shotguns get brought up. There are obviously other weapons which we'll discuss in other videos which can match its output and firepower, but it does seem a little bit annoying that the best one is behind a paywall. And also, it's quite a big paywall because it's not like you can just buy the gun. You have to buy a £40 package. It's a joke.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But anyway, we won't get too far into that. So, same question for you, Drac. You're in the verse. What shotgun are you going to pick?
I'm going BR2. BR2 is... I liked how the BR2 is. This is my personal preference. Some people I know like the R97. Some people like the Ravager. I like the BR2 just because I could get consistent kills with it when it was not what we would call a skill issue.
Everyone loves a skill issue. Okay, so to summarize shotguns, I think it's really important to note that obviously there are other class of weapons available. Now, it's certainly the case that they may have use cases, and Drac has very much described the use cases that these weapons can have today. However, of course, they're not the S tier of a weapon class, so that's definitely something to remember when we're going through this video. But of course, once we have covered all the weapons, we will then sort of rank them all in one big list, and you can understand actually maybe an A tier here might actually only be a B or a C tier when we look at the overall wider picture.
So what I would say about the shotguns is that they are usable. They're not overpowered, except maybe the dead rig, but they do get beat out most of the time by SMGs because they kind of share that area of use. So they're good if you get the jump, but SMGs generally will beat.
That's sad. Well, not really. It kind of makes sense, I guess, for a game which is mostly about range.
Yeah, unfortunately, the R97 normally gets beat out by the king of the SMGs right now, which is the C54. Spoiler for another episode.
Guys, spoiled the next video. Unbelievable. No one's going to watch it now.
I got some hot takes for that one too.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. And with that, we come to the end of another tier list. Shotguns are a really, really interesting place in 323. Anyone who's just tried them out in Arena Commander won't actually get the full appreciation for what they can and can't do. And I definitely think there are some limitations to shotguns at the moment. So it's really interesting to see how this tier list will work when we look at the wider picture. But until then, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you who's watched, and a thank you to Drac, and we will see you next time.
Catch you next time.